90% of us, me included, hate planning. But you probably already heard the saying, failing to plan is planning to fail. So if we have to go through it, let's at least make sure that we do it in the best possible way so that it's worth our trouble. Hey YouTube, this is Gustavo from Spot On Uni. Have you ever wanted to smash your exams and in the process unlock your success? If that's the case, then don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so that you always know what's what. Planning is one of the most tedious parts of any project, but yet we all know it's critical for success. So here are a few tips that will help you make sure that you plan the right way so that you get maximum return on the back of it. The first tip is all about scheduling right. Some people love to schedule for 1 week, 2 weeks, a month ahead, and it's perfectly fine. But do you know when is the best time to actually plan a given day? The best time for you to plan the day you have ahead is not, as you would expect, at the start of the day. The start of the day is actually the worst time for you to actually plan your day. Here's the truth. Although we might not like it, we actually have a very limited amount of willpower for us to spend throughout the day. So just consider that every day you have a reserve of willpower that you go on spending. You spend that willpower every time you make a decision, which means that when you get towards the end of the day is when you're more likely to make bad decisions. This is why you might have people that spend a lot of money on online shopping at 11 at night or go for the cheeky takeaway when they know they should actually be cooking. This is the reason, because they depleted their reserve of willpower. And because willpower is so precious, it would be a massive mistake to use one of your best decisions of the day doing planning for the day ahead. You will literally be wasting some of your genius strokes for the day for planning. That's not what you want. Instead, turn it on its head and do all your planning for the day the night before, so that on the following day you start on the right foot and you make the best decisions with the most amount of willpower, so that you don't waste your willpower on things that don't need any of it but still consume it. The second key to successful planning is how do you actually break down and group tasks on your schedule. I mentioned in the video on monotasking, link in the description below, that the worst thing you can do is to actually do the same task for a number of topics, one after the other, rather than sticking with the same topic. So what does that mean? If you have to do desk research for history, literature, and let's say chemistry, for the sake of the arguments, you're better off breaking that down throughout the days, so having Monday for chemistry, Tuesday for literature, and Wednesday for history, rather than doing the 3 in a row. This is because your brain, when you move or you want to move from one topic to the other, your brain will be stuck with the information of the other one, and you'll be forcing yourself into multitasking. So do make sure that you always plan blocks of half a day focusing on one topic, and you do through the motions, and you go through the motions of that topic on that half day, but don't jump in and out from a topic because it will drastically hurt your productivity. That being said, don't forget to allocate time for you to rest a bit. We mentioned in that same video on monotasking that the brain can only take in so much. So don't forget to actually schedule breaks as well as working time. So do 25 minutes of work and 5 minutes of break, or 15 minutes of work and 5 minutes of break, however works best for you. But do not forget to take a break. If you do decide to continue studying when you should be taking a break, yes, it's admirable, no doubt. But the problem you face is that every passing moment, the quality of your studying, the quality of your attention and your focus will be getting lower and lower. You'll be literally shooting yourself in the foot. So do take breaks. The third key to successful planning is understanding your priorities. The worst thing you can do is think that all tasks or topics are created equal and deserve or need the same amount of time from you. However, this is not true. You need to understand what will require more of your time. What is a bigger priority? Where is the biggest opportunity for you? Because every minute you spend on a topic you're really good at is a minute that you're giving up on topics that might need it more than that. So whenever you're actually trying to plan, think of those following elements. How far are you relative to that topic? Are you pretty much there, or do you still have a lot to catch up on before feeling you're ready? Also, how important is it for your final grade, for your final objective? So how much of an impact would success or failure in that specific task actually have on the final element for you or the final result? And then, what is the opportunity for improvement? And by that, by the opportunity for improvement, what I'm saying is that you have a base level that you currently are at now. And the question is, if you wanted to do even better, if you wanted to increase that level, how much more work would it be required? Because if you're pretty much there on 90% of the topic, and you know you're going to have maybe the best or the second best grade, but you want to go even higher, just think, is it worth it? I've had some times where I got 80% of answers right on a topic, and I knew that for me to get that extra 10% that I might have wanted, it wouldn't have signified 30, 40, 50 hours of study that I wouldn't be spending on other topics that are higher priorities for me. So sometimes you have to understand that good might be good enough, and perfection is the enemy of good. And you might be actually spending more time on a topic that doesn't require it, that you could actually use on something else to get a better final result. So always ask yourself, when you're actually deciding how much time to spend on something, how much better could I do? And for that, how much more work would I need to do to be better? Because if you have an improvement of 10%, but you need to spend 20, 30 more hours on it, is it really worth it? This is the question it all boils down to. Is it worth spending that time on that topic you're already doing really well at, and where it will take you a lot of effort to improve ever so slightly? Or would you be better off just spending that time on a topic where you aren't doing as great, but where the opportunity for improvement is there, where a small effort will have massive reward? If you do manage to keep those questions in mind when you're actually planning your time, you will see that you'll become far more efficient and you will prioritize things. And as a result of that, because you'll be more efficient, because you'll know exactly where to plan yourself, how to plan yourself, you'll end up studying less because you know where to put your time, you know how to allocate it, and you don't waste time. Because ultimately, this is what successful planning is. It's understanding how can you do in the shortest amount of time with the least effort and resources get to the best possible objective. And this means understanding where your priorities lies, where you should actually spend more or less of your resources, and ultimately how do you actually allocate the time. If you do that right, you'll be that much closer from success. And if you don't, you'll be shooting yourself in the foot and you'll be delaying the success that you truly want and truly desire. Now it's your turn. Make a commitment to yourself and write in the comments "success unlocked," so that you're telling yourself and me that you are going to apply it, that you are going to start planning the right way and getting ready to unlock your success. Hey there! Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to find out about one technique that will give you an unfair advantage on top of everyone else, give you better grades by studying less, you can just follow this URL and I'll teach you exactly how to do it. I'll see you there. Take care.